This week we've been meeting a group of resourceful Tynesiders who've really begun to use their loaf after being faced with the loss of an important local facility. Oliver Martley reports.
Years ago, Scotswood was the thriving hub of Newcastle's West End. Its heavy industry powered the world's economies. Its workforce was both skilled and well paid. Then the decline started, and Scotswood became yet another blighted inner city area, reliant on cash handouts from the government, which didn't always find their target. One particular aspect of the area suffered more than most.
Up till about 15 years ago, you had the co-op, the Hadrian, you had a butcher's, fresh butcher's, you had a fish shop, a wet fish shop, and a fish and chip shop. You had two bakeries, we had pork shop, and we had also the local corner shops. So it was a thriving little community, really.
In December 1997, another nail was hammered into the coffin. Greg's, the local bakers, decided to close their Scotswood shop.
Well, it was a case of it would just be one more facility gone to Scotswood. I mean, at the minute, anybody who wants to do a week's shopping has got to go at least 15 minutes onto Benwell.
The shop's far more than somewhere where you buy goods. It's where you meet friends, it's where you meet your neighbours. It's where you're able to get a feeling of community. And without that feeling, I think it's very difficult for any community to continue to survive.
So the local population, with the help of the Scotswood Support Centre, decided that something needed to be done to save the bakery.
Local people were very concerned, and they signed a petition. And they asked for support from ourselves and the community project. We were able very quickly to negotiate with Greg so that on a temporary basis we took over the management of the shop but employed local people. It has continued to be successful since December when we took over, and we hope to be in full possession of the lease and running the business as a community enterprises in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Staff are all local people. They're all Scotswood residents. And the community has continued to support us, and we're now expanding and selling sandwiches and doing buffets for local occasions as well.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
That blank space above the door needs filling.
The proposed changes are being looked after by local volunteers from the Scotswood strategy team. As directors' dining rooms go, this may not be the most palatial of meeting places, but all that's about to change.
What we would like to be able to do is to hand over to the community a thriving community enterprise for the community to run in the most appropriate way, but also to develop the shop. There's a lot of wasted space, and perhaps we could have a community cafe and have the credit union running from there as a collection point as well. But really it's up to the community to decide how they best want to use the resource.
At the moment, none of the food's manufactured on the premises, although that's the eventual aim. And if Scotswood's glory days of engineering are unlikely to return, at least this small enterprise is another step towards giving the area back its sense of local pride.
Hello, I'm Gwen and I'm from the Scotswood Cafe. I was on film quite a few years ago when all this kicked off in Scotswood. Then we were waiting for the lease for the bakery, which we got from Greg's. We also done a roaring trade over there with the hot pies, pasties, sausage rolls and everything. We got money from the lottery and Greg's, so we expanded into a cafe. It was going really well, but because Scotswood was then a busy place after that, when they knocked all their houses down and we lost all the people, it became quieter and quieter. And I think Cassie's little shop was the last one to go. And once there was no shops, well, we had no people coming down here unless they were using the chemist or the doctors or the nursery. But since then, we've now lost the nursery as well. It was a few years later when the kids set a light to the back area and we lost our kitchen. We did renew all the kitchen, we got it up and running, and then not long after that the kids got into the empty building, the flat up above, and set fire to it, and it hit the baker's part of our building and we couldn't go back in after that. It was gutted. So it took a long time, but we eventually got plans for coming over to this side of the road, which is more or less opposite our old bakers. Andy was in talks with the council because the property, the flat above where all this is started from, belonged to the council. So Andy had lots of negotiations to do with the council, and it took a long time. And then when we got the go-ahead and everything, there was such a lot of work to do at this side for to make it into a little cafe come place where people meet and do courses and things like that. But he took on a work team, and they had local lads involved, which they got their building certificates out of it, and they got it all up and running, and this is what you see now. We never got to put a bakery back in, we had to just go on as a cafe. But from the cafe, we're running all different courses and everything from this building, which is like the main project around this side of the road. We know nearly everyone that comes in the door. They're all local people and they support us all the way. It's changed a lot. We've had nothing for years once they moved all the people out, and it's only took back off again over the last couple of years, where they've come out with new plans and stuff, but now it's over a 15-year scale, where the first time going for growth was over a 20-year, but that was 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So, but work's started again, where they're putting all the groundworks in for the new housing, which I reckon will be another couple of years before it's up and running on the new housing. They said up to 15 years. That's the time scale. That could mean anything, because if it changed hands again, it could go different ways, I don't know. But at the moment, the Scotswood area strategy and the youth building is in the way of their plans, so they're now moving over the road, so we're going to be taking all this block up. Things have snowballed now because with the Pink Palace having to come over this side, we've now got a bigger bunch of lads and a bigger workforce next door doing it all out for the Pink Palace, and hopefully the youth building and the new post office that's going to be in place. The post office and shop was closed down last year, I believe it was. So we'll be opening a little shop in with the calf, and the post office we're hoping to open up very shortly as well. If we can get that up and running, at least they've got something till we get the new wall built. The main challenge is, I would say, is the money side of it. I think that's the biggest, covering my costs. Plus when we've got this little shop on site, hopefully, you know, we're going to do well and it'll keep up and running so that we can keep things open. We'll have things going on for the community. We've got a creche for the kiddies when there's bits on, which they enjoy coming down to. You know, there's not much else left. Getting the local people involved, that has been one of the strengths, because you've got the big workforces that's building houses and everything, and they've maybe taken a couple of local people on. But for us to take 6 young trainees on and to have 2 in charge of just a small project compared to theirs, You know, this is what it's all about, trying to get the young lads into work, letting them see that they will enjoy it and they'll enjoy getting a decent wage. And that's all they want. They just want that chance. This site will be demolished. It's been given 3 to 5 years for the last 3 years, I think. So we could be here a while longer till they build the community part where the shops is going to be and everything. Just plans change, things take so long. We've done without for that long. We'll just wait and see, bide our time. I don't think we'll look to the future. We don't look to the future, we look to it each day as it comes. I think we just plod on, because if we didn't, there would be nothing else. And the local people look forward to somewhere to come to. If there's events on, they know it'll all be happening from here. There's different kinds of courses, cake decorating, maths and English. They can get help with benefits. There's job seekers comes out once a week. There's credit union. Everything stems from the cafe, you know, and people just make their way to the cafe and they know they can get help one way or the other. There's always something happening.